Hello and welcome to this quick tutorial. First of all, I want to show what I want to achieve. We are in the SAP transaction for customer analysis, and what we can do here is we can enter a customer number and execute a report, for example, and get some details here. And we might need some additional help, so we added a button here to call the Watson chatbot, and when we click here, then the chatbot is loaded. In this case it's just an example, so we might enter some details about the transaction and get some help here, and we can also turn it off again. And the important thing here is that when we resize or move this SAP GUI window here, then we always want to have the chatbot on the lower part, the lower right part of the screen. So it's always on this side here. And in this case, we have different options to achieve this, but many web applications need the new WebView 2, the Chromium engine, and do not work with the Internet Explorer control anymore. So what we do is, first of all, there is a nice tutorial on how to create a Windows Forms application using the new WebView 2 control. So what you do is, it has nothing to do with SAP GUI or GUI-XT. You just create a normal Windows Forms application using the .NET framework. Then you can test this application here, you can run it and just use it as a normal application. And then after you did this, you can compile it as a class library, so there's not much change then, but you cannot just start it anymore. But you can embed it in SAP GUI, and then you can just also create a command to show the forms. So the main idea is that you can embed web applications in the SAP GUI. So we have different examples here. In this case it's just a nice menu, and there's also here a tutorial on how to embed the WebView 2 control. And we want to extend this a little bit, so here you can download the whole project. This is a VB.NET project that you can compile, or you can just use the class libraries. And we have this .NET project here. So this is mainly the example from the Windows side when you create a form here. But we change a few things. What we do is we change the border style to none. That means that there is no toolbar here. You cannot resize the window and you cannot close it. And we also change here we have the German version, but this is a class library. It's not the Windows Forms anymore. You compile it as a class library. And then what is important to know is that when we look at the function that we mainly will use is here the doc bottom right command. And in this case, what we can do is we can, when we run this with GUI-XT, we can get a reference to the SAP GUI window, the SAP GUI session. That means this object here has information about the SAP GUI screen and the SAP GUI window itself. And then we can get the rectangle. That means we can get the size and the position of the SAP GUI window on the desktop screen. And that means we can just set the position of the form with the web view containing the Chatbot application or any other website, we can set this location to the right, but we subtract the width, and also the same thing with the bottom. So that means that we have the window at the bottom right of the SAP GUI window. And we bring it to the front, because when you click into the SAP GUI window, this form might be in the background. What you can also do is you can even send this to the topmost. That means this window is always in front, but this depends on a concrete implementation. So this get window rectangle is a function that you can use in your .NET project, but you need to import it here from the user32 library. So you need to use a few definitions like this: get window rectangle, here structure, and for this you need the system runtime interop services. But this is also available in the .NET framework, so that means you do not have to install additional tools or dependencies. You just need this import here, and then you can just use those functions here. So when you compile this as a library, you can just use it in the GUI screen. So what we do here is we have a small script with the push button for the Watson chatbot, and when the screen is rebuilt, we always run this dock bottom right command, so it will always put the window on the right position when the screen is refreshed. So what we do in the Watson here is we just, if it's visible, then we close it. In this case, close means we just hide it, so we don't destroy the whole window or close the whole window, we just make it invisible again. And if it's not visible, we set the user directory. This is a temporary directory for the web view. Then we show it. We navigate through the URL that we want to have, and I also implemented a set window size command. That means that you can also change the window size with this command if you don't want to make this window changeable by the user. So that's mainly all. So you can just click here and have the chatbot, or any other site embedded. And actually it's not embedded, you can also embed Windows Forms applications, but this is just a window that is in front of this window.